Rubicon is the longest con! It's Amigos, episode 327. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we're going to be talking about Rubicon.
Duel!
Now, Aaron, tell me about your greatest con experience.
Oh, my God. You mean like working an angle?
Yeah.
Oh,
No. Actually, no. That's not what I mean at all.
Oh.
I mean, your...
So this is some sort of nice con.
Yeah. I'm talking about your favorite convention experience.
Oh, wow.
You've
That's
been to
way
many.
off. Because I had plenty of material for that other one. Let's see, convention experience. I haven't been to a ton of conventions, Boatster. I've been to your Gen Con.
Yeah.
I've been to your Huntington Retro Gaming Con. What's that thing called?
That's the HunCon.
Is that? No, it's not. HunCon? That's not what it's called. You made that up. I've been to that gimmick in Columbus. Korgs. That's a con. And, of course, I've been to CharCon many times. Mm-hmm. So I'd say CharCon is probably my home con.
You've never been to a Trek Con?
I have not. No, I've never been to a Trek
The
Con.
Chud has, though, right?
I doubt it.
Because he has some signed merch.
Yeah, well, he did go. That was a Comic-Con. I went to one of those, too. I did go to a Comic-Con. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So CharCon, your favorite con?
Well, I mean, I'm comfortable with that because I've been to it so many times. Although I haven't been for several years since the unpleasantness set in.
Yeah.
Listen, I go to CharCon. I get in the tournament, take home a big stack of games, smack around some would-be gamers. They think they can go. They can't go. Now, I've never won, but I'm in the top 10 every time.
Well, you travel with a winner, though. Your brother.
You have to bring that up. You talk about a con. You know, he won the Settlers of Catan qualifier to go to Gen Con.
Yeah.
So we got a free pass up there, and I got to go to the Gen Con, like, what would you call it? I want to say pisser, but it's more like a mixer, right? And you get a bunch of drink coupons, and a bunch of those geeks don't drink, so they were giving me theirs.
Wow.
So I took care of business up there.
Can we say pisser on this podcast?
I think so, yeah. I mean, people know. But they got good and toasty up there at the old Gen Con. But the problem is, I'm going to cause some controversy here, you know, because I like Settlers of Catan.
Sure.
And I know the rules. I've played a million games, right? And that's what Brent's good at it too, obviously. When you get to the big table, that's when literally the actual cons start. We had a couple hosers in the table from the Great White North. They were teaming up. They were working together.
You can't do that.
Oh, they
That's
did.
against the spirit of the game.
They were working an angle, and ultimately they ended up winning the game. One of the two hose heads won, and they hosed the Brent. He got jobbed out at this tournament. It was ridiculous. And I sat there. I could see what was going on. So did Brent. But what are you going to do? We get free booze, free trip to Gen Con. It's not like I was ever going to go. I'm not going to pay that big money. Those cons ain't cheap, brother.
No. You know, speaking of cons, there's going to be a con coming our way later on here in the news that you might want to stick around for. But, Aaron, before we get into that, let's talk about this week's Amiga news. So, Aaron, we're going to kick things off with the World of Commodore 2021.
Holy smokes.
Now, this is something that Frank told us about, right?
Well, I knew about this, but yeah, to be honest with you, it snuck up on me. The World of Commodore takes place up in the Great White North. No bad mouthing in the previous segment with the hosers. We love the Canadians, but those particular Canadians were hose heads. Go ahead.
Now, this is obviously this is a place where speakers, exhibitors, vendors, the whole deal, they all come together.
They descend
to celebrate the World of Commodore.
Yeah.
And the one and only Retro Rewind is going to be amongst them.
Oh, yes.
This year. Now, this is going to take place over in Mississauga, Ontario.
Well said. Yeah.
I mean, once you go there, why go anywhere else?
That's a cool name. Isn't
It is.
Is that?
It
You think that's a Native American, Mississauga?
I would wager
I like that.
is the case. Over at the Admiral Inn.
Man.
Yeah.
Don't ever stay at the private inn, by the way. I don't suggest that. But Admiral, you can go there.
Now, I guess this looks like this is sponsored in much the same way that the Glenside Computer Club sponsors Cocoa Fest. Looks like the Toronto Pugnacious User Group, otherwise known as the Toronto Pet Users Group,
Right.
is behind this event. So you can go over to their website, which is tpug.ca.
I'd say that again. Try again.
tpug.ca.
Yeah.
You can join up with the Toronto Pet Users Group. You can see what's been going on in their world, and you can check out and book your tickets for the World of Commodore, which is taking place tomorrow.
Yeah, book them quick.
Yeah, book them quick.
If you're watching live.
But they are going to be streaming Zoom 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh, man.
An all-day affair. So I may try and duck in on that, see what's going on.
You know, I will say this. If RetroRewind.ca is going to be in attendance, this isn't some Mickey Mouse affair.
No.
He doesn't just drag all the goodies around to some like hose head deal. It only takes the big deal. Plus, this is the world of Commodore. The
world of Commodore.
You know, so very cool. I like the fact that they're doing. One thing about the unpleasantness that everyone has suffered through is that the idea of broadcasting your con for everyone to watch has become a more intricate part. I remember when the first time you went to Ireland, it was almost a novel at the time that you guys were doing that.
Right.
And now it's been embraced.
Well,
I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, but embraced.
It's it's being done. The jury's still out on if it's done well all the time.
It's hard though, isn't it?
It's a very hard thing to do a good job streaming. But I believe in these guys.
Well, trust us, we know.
I've always believed in the TPUG.
I like the fact that there's a user group devoted to the pet.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's a devoted bunch.
Yeah.
Wonder what the average age of that group is.
Boy, you think Coco Talk trends old.
No kidding, because man, the pet. Holy smokes. Have you ever seen a pet, like a live one?
No, never.
No,
have you?
I have, but it was a long, long time ago, like school years time.
Wow.
It was way back.
Yeah, I never seen one in person. I'd love to have one. They're megabucks these days.
Oh yeah,
though.
forget it,
Megabucks. So anyway, make sure you check out the tpug.ca site and attend, if you may, the World of Commodore 2021. And we probably should just go ahead and roll this in to talking about the sponsor, one of the sponsors of World of Commodore, Retro Rewind. So, you know, Retro Rewind has been with us for a long time as the official sponsor of Amigos. And they continue to impress with their selection of products and their award-winning customer service.
Correct.
We got a message on our Discord from the one and only Rushi today. He's unwrapped a large package of goodies from Retro Rewind, including a Lego minifig. Yeah. I don't know if that was part of the package or not, but he was in there.
And Rushi is a what I would call a grade A consumer.
Yes.
He's not just throwing his considerable wad around to some duds.
No.
He's only paying for the top shelf. Keep in mind, he's over in Germany, but he sent over to RetroRewind.ca because he knew they were top shelf.
That's right. If you're going to order, if you feel skittish, if you've been burned in the past
very good.
by your online Commodore buying site storefronts, you may want to consider shifting your allegiance over to Retro Rewind because Frank and his team will not let you down. They love what they do, and as they say in the biz, they service what they sell.
That's right, Boat. In fact, this is not only a place where you can get the goods. You send your goods to get fixed. You know, I've got a whole slew of Amigas at the house that need the business done to them.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is, because I'm so cheap, I'm going to actually send them up to Frank to get them done on the cheap. Because not only does Frank do the stuff right, but he does it super cheap.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
That's what I like too. And he's got new products up all the time. Just this past couple weeks, he's got the GoTech floppy emulator. He's selling Retro Rewind branded GoTechs.
Very good.
He's got, there's something called the C64 Case Saver. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing that I haven't seen before. What this does is it actually protects your case you've got screw poster cracking and stuff like that. What this thing does is that you've got clips that keep your case secure. So I guess the cases these days, Aaron, are starting to break down.
They do.
We saw that as yours took a tumble because of a rogue cat.
Oh man,
in your house.
You know, it's funny. I was gifted a Vio this week. Remember Sony Vios?
Yeah.
It's got a little gimmick on the back that slides over the USB. I went like ting, and it broke off my hand. All right, and the Sony Vio is much newer than the Amigas. So yeah, when somebody's selling replacement tabs and whatnot, go to work, get them.
Absolutely.
And they're cheap too.
So we do appreciate Retro Rewind, and we want to make everybody aware that he is running a special promotion over the holiday season.
Indeed.
Frank and his team are giving back to the local Toronto community, and you can help by using the promo code TIS Amigos at checkout. What that does is it lets Frank know to deduct a portion of your sale to the Daily Bread Food Bank. Boy, that's easy for you to say.
Yeah.
And it also, there's a little friendly competition between all of the shows that Frank sponsors. You know, us, ARG, Sprite Castle. All of these shows are sort of competing against each other to who can raise the most money. And whichever show does raise the most money for that food bank, Frank's going to give out 2 $50 gift certificates. So make sure you use that promo code TIS Amigos at checkout. Save yourself 10% and do some good over the holiday season.
I figured since I'm on 2 shows of the bunch, because you got us, Flack, Pixel Gaiden, right? I have a 50% chance of taking it to the top.
Yeah.
I like my odds, brother.
I like your odds too, man. So we do appreciate Retro Rewind, and we encourage you to check them out, RetroRewind.ca. Moving on down the line, Aaron, we've got a couple stories that are related to games this week.
All right.
They come to us from the one and only Indie Retro News,
Oh,
our
man.
favorite site for new Amiga news, game updates. Now, this is a new update to the Scorpion engine, Aaron. The Scorpion engine is used on so many new Amiga games. You know, it's one of these, it's sort of calling card if you compare it to something like the Red Pill engine, which, you know, crap.
Oh, now listen,
this
only
is-
as good as how you use it.
No,
Bud.
it's not. The Scorpion engine is good even if you don't know what you're doing.
How do you know? These people are skilled, Bo. Skilled.
I really don't know anything about it.
He doesn't.
But
ignore that.
here's the thing. The Scorpion engine, the games that come out, they're mostly for your lower end Amigas, your 1200s, your 5000s. You don't need a 4000 with a Blizzard accelerator to make these games go. And the writer of this engine, his name is Erock, I believe. He's posted some footage of a Scott Pilgrim game in development on Twitter. What do you think about that, man?
Well, you know, I know that was a very popular comic series.
Did you like that?
I didn't read the comics.
Oh, okay.
I did see the film, which was dumb.
Yeah.
But I know people love the film. They
well-
double love it.
It's got that guy in it everybody likes.
It's got the dude.
Michael Cesario.
I like that guy. I think, you know, right, it's not the worst movie, but it's just it's one of these flicks that tries real hard to give you the fan service you crave.
Right.
You know, I like it more. I like to be a little more subtle.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's got the same problem. The comics have the same problem that Ready Player One did.
That
which
it's very similar.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, it's this thing from the 80s,
Yeah,
remember?
get it, wink.
Yeah.
You know, that new movie that just came out, 8-Bit Christmas, it looks
my
very
gosh,
similar.
yeah.
It's like, we get you, Bing. It's like, I got it. It's fan service.
Right.
Got it.
Right. No good. Crap.
But still, hey, new game.
So, yeah, new game, Erock, and hey, I'll play a new beat 'em up.
How do you know that's Erock and not Eric?
Erock, E-A-R-O-K.
Oh, okay. It looked like Eric. To
Well,
me,
his
I
real
think.
name's Eric, but nobody calls him that.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I did.
Yeah. All right. Our next story, Aaron, is about one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
The Bri Witch Chronicles.
Oh,
Aaron.
man.
Now, you've waxed poetic about how your undying love for this game.
Well, listen, I don't hate the game. It's not like, for who am I? I'm just some schlub. It's just not my cup of tea. Now, that much said, despite my disinterest in it, it's gotten rave reviews from the people it's made for. JRPG, like Maniacs. They love it. They can't get enough of it.
Well, if you're a JRPG maniac and you own an Amiga, you're in luck because this game, the Bri Witch Chronicles, is being ported to the Amiga.
Uh-oh.
Boom.
Uh-oh. Hey, this means it may cross my path somewhere down the line.
That's right,
Oh, Bo,
that's
you
right,
love
Aaron.
these games, don't you? Aren't
Yeah,
you a big geek
I'm
for
not
these?
the one that comes down on it like a ton of bricks every time it gets mentioned.
Well, you come down on everything else. Why can't I have one?
I'm not saying you can't.
Are you going to get in on this sweet action?
I probably will. I'll probably get in on the sweet Amiga
It looks like
action.
you would love it because it's got little cutesy characters and animals, and they're all talking to each other, and they're having little tea parties. It looks great, Bode. Get in there.
Man, your burial of this thing. So, if you're into the Bri Witch Chronicles, you look forward to. Now, it looks like this is just an announcement. It's just an announcement. Not nothing has been set in stone, but the porting has commenced. Sarah Jane Avery has announced on Twitter that the porting has commenced, so we've got that to look forward to.
Yeah, and there's going to definitely be sequels to this.
Yeah.
I know I saw numbers on what she's sold this, and she's sold quite a few. So she's taking it to the bank. Hey, listen, who am I? She's going to the money bank, so clearly there's a market out there for little critters having tea parties and walking around the woods.
Coming up next, Tales of Gorluth 3, Aaron.
This is right up your alley, Bode. Go ahead.
So this is a game that it's kind of like, I watched some of this video.
Yeah, you did?
And this has got, people wonder why people that aren't like mega fans of the CD32 look at the system and they say, man, this is sort of not great. Because Tales of Gorluth looks like The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
But imagine
Gosh,
if the frame
look at that.
rate was cut in by like a quarter. So if it ran at, say, like 15 frames per second.
But it's in development, right? I mean,
Well, no, this is the final game.
oh.
It's just being ported to the CD32.
It does
Okay.
look. That looks okay. It doesn't-
Yeah, I mean, it looks fine.
Okay, that looks a little. Yeah, but I mean, it could be the internet.
Yeah. We'll blame it on the internet. It's not the CD32.
Maybe. Hey, listen, this is a good opportunity for those folks that have an accelerated gimmick.
So this is this is a full-screen action RPG in glorious 320 by 256 that doesn't just feature brand new monsters, traps, treasures, and riddles, but also brand new boss fights and an emotional story
Nice.
in German or English.
Nice.
I'm playing
Nice.
it in German.
Nice. I like it, man.
So,
you are?
Yeah. This is available right now over at the AmiWorks shop. Let's see what this is going for.
That sounds pretty cool.
Aaron.
Amy works, eh?
$24.37. So
That seems
under
about right.
$30, €24. And you get yourself a jewel case, you get the disc. Hey, if this kind of game is your bag and you are a CD32 fanatic, or it also works, of course, we should also mention it works on Amiga CD-ROM too, for those dozen people that have a CD-ROM.
Yeah, but nowadays, tons of people have. Let me ask you a question about
Okay,
this
man.
game, Boat. Now, we just talked about the Briley Witch Chronicles,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then this is in a similar vein of game, right? Now, you love your Zeldas, all right, and all that jive. You love your JRPGs. What about this? What if, now listen, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
What if you, okay, granted, it looks a little logy, all right? But let's say you emulate it, you crank that sucker up, it runs at a good speed. You could get into a game like this. And you're sort of burying it, but you could actually get into it.
Well, it depends. I mean, listen, I'm willing to give this thing a shot. If
Right.
this thing gets picked for us by the game selection committee,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a go. Maybe it's great.
Yeah.
But from the video posted on Indie Retro News, it doesn't exactly fill me with enthusiasm.
It says there it's an award-winning franchise. Now, I believe it. Listen, how many of those you're going to
We're
get?
an award-winning podcast.
Well, we won one award one time. But
Hey.
the point is, this could be good. I'm not going to, just like the Briley Witch thing, it sounds like I'm burying it, but it's not my bag, okay? But for people that like this sort of thing, now all of a sudden it's like a glory time for
It
them.
is a glory
They're
time.
getting all the action they want. You know, the Briley Witch thing's huge. This series has been quite popular, right? Mostly overseas. This could be the games that you really dig because you don't like everything.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
I'm going to reserve judgment.
'Cause we
Tales of
may
Gorluth
cross that
Maybe
game.
so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. All right, Aaron, and rounding out our news segment, we have a new synthwave tribute album that's coming out. You know, these music albums are just coming hot and heavy, and this one is all dedicated to the music from Delphine's games.
Okay.
You know, Delphine is definitely one of those studios that really cranked out the tunes.
Is it?
Yeah, we remember we played the one game where you're in a dystopian future.
That
It
game,
had some-
yeah, I
it had
remember
some
that.
rockin'
But like,
tune
I'm
on
thinking
the-
of their other games. I don't remember thinking to myself, my God, the music in this is outstanding.
I definitely don't remember any sort of memorable tunes from Cruise for a Corpse, for example.
Or I was thinking like Flashback. Did that thing have awesome tunes in it that I don't remember?
Well, it had kind of a mood music, you know, something like that.
That's not Euro synthwave, is it?
Well,
is
I
that
think
what
you
Euro-
can make it synthwave. You know,
Oh, okay.
synthwave
Is this
whatever you
remixed
want it to
audio?
be.
Is
This
that
is
what this is?
remixed
Oh, I
audio
see.
in a synthwave fashion. You can tell that it's
Ooh,
going to be
look how
great.
pretty.
Look at how many scan lines are on the screen right now.
Yeah.
That means it's authentic and retro.
What's that have to do with the sound?
It's got everything to do with it. Synthwave is as much about the visual arts as
I'm
it
not.
is
But
about
this
the
is
audio arts.
isn't this an audio CD?
Well, it's an audio CD, but it's got a teaser that's in video as well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so,
neat.
Anyway, if you want to check this out, head on over to the YouTube channel. The name of the YouTube channel is Generation Delphine. And you can check out the teaser. I guess there are multiple teasers. This is teaser number 2 we're looking at right now. I am a fan. Are you a fan of synthwave music?
Now, see, we forgot they did that. They did that game there. The what was that? Future Shock.
Yeah,
or
Future Wars.
Future Wars.
Yeah.
And we liked that. That did have some decent.
That's what I'm
I
talking
like
about.
Delphine. I
Yeah.
like them as a studio. I don't know. I like synthwave. I think.
Yeah. So
You know, so it might be good. What's the cost
well,
of this band?
here's the thing.
Is this a
This is a very early release because I looked on here and there's no pricing. They're not doing a Kickstarter or anything like that. They just say follow us on our social media. It's one of
I
those
see.
deals. So
All right.
more information forthcoming.
What's
I'm
your
sure.
opinion on synthwave?
Oh, I
Buzz?
love it. I
Can
love
you
it.
give me an example of a synthwave band?
Synthwave is like where you take music from Saved by the Bell.
Which
you
I
know,
hate that show.
It's like like that, the interstitial music, and
Yeah.
you slow it down, you give it a little warble.
That sounds horrible.
And then what you do is you get some old VHS tapes of the mall from the 80s, and
Yeah.
you add lots of post-processing, so it looks like the VHS tape's getting mangled.
But again, this is an audio album, isn't it?
Well, synthwave, it's a pure sensory experience.
How much of what you've told me in the past 5 minutes is just you making crap up?
Trust me, ask the chat. That is what synthwave is.
I can't see the chat, but I'll take your word
I
for
had
it.
it on purpose. So,
What?
Generation Delphine, a synthwave tribute to Delphine software. Check it out. I'm sure we'll report on this story again.
Hey, before we move on, I got to ask you a question.
Okay, man.
This week, they did this gimmick on YouTube, right, where they took away how many dislikes you can see.
Yeah.
What your opinion? And it
Horrible.
better be right. Okay,
Horrible.
correct answer.
Horrible
What a
idea.
stupid idea.
Yeah.
From a stupid bunch of stupids. Because you can't tell what's going on. Now, how am I going to know what not to like?
Yeah.
I've got to figure it out on
here's
my
the
own.
thing. If I'm watching, because a lot of times what do you look up on YouTube? Like, my record player won't work. You
Right.
want to fix something. You can click on a video, and if it's got 1 like and 870 dislikes, you know immediately this is not what's going to help you.
That's right. It's exactly like I was looking for apps for my phone for that camera gimmick, right? So I looked up videos, camera gimmick,
Right.
And then you're right. If a guy gets 500 dislikes and his advice is shove up your butt, you don't want to click on that. That's what they tell you. You don't want to look at that.
Right.
This is the perfect example of these companies tweaking their product to the point where it's no longer usable.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea why YouTube would add this feature.
Did anyone want this? I'm begging. I've never seen a single person say it's a good idea.
Yeah, you're absolutely
You suck,
right.
YouTube.
You're absolutely right. All right,
on
Aaron.
Twitch, Boat.
It's time to get happy.
It is?
It's time to talk about Boatfest.
Oh, wait. Oh, well, okay, yeah. Oh, good Lord. Here we go.
Okay, so many years ago, you destroyed
I wanted
the
to be
audio
like
system.
I am in the thing.
So many years ago, we talked jokingly about doing our own retro gaming festival.
I coined this stupid name.
Okay, and you said we should call it Boatfest.
I was being sarcastic.
And the name never died.
No.
And now we constantly get asked, hey, when's Boatfest? Hey, I need to book my ticket for Boatfest. I need to clear my calendar.
They won't leave us alone. They're calling me nonstop day and night.
Well, guys, I've got good news. Boatfest is real, and it's happening. And it's fantastic.
Thank you, Terry Hatcher. Well done. Good tagline for Boatfest.
So, June 17th and 18th at the Holiday Inn Express in glorious, scenic Hurricane, West
Oh,
Virginia.
man. It is a nice hall.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We are going to host our first festival, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring a whole bunch of computers. We're going to bring a whole bunch of consoles. You're going to bring your pinball machine.
I'm going to bring the virtual pinball machine. That'll be cool.
Yeah, the virtual pinball machine. And we're going to have tables. We're going to have trivia. We're going to have a charity auction. We're going to have drunken karaoke.
We're having a charity auction?
You're having a charity
Outstanding.
auction? Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Everything is going down at Boatfest. It's
Oh,
a 2-day extravaganza. Tickets are on sale right now. Tickets are very limited. Only 50 people can fit in the hall, so we're limited to 50 tickets. So you can book your ticket right now at boatfest.info. Within the coming weeks, we will have a full schedule of events. It's going to start Friday around 4 o'clock in the evening. We are going to record all of our shows live over the weekend, right there at Boatfest with a live studio audience.
That's going to be great. I can't wait for
Including
that.
having some feedback from people watching.
Yeah.
If you've got hot takes on the game for that week or whatever. There's also going to be we've roped Flack in to be our video producer.
We
for
did?
This show. Yep.
That poor sucker.
And there's a chance that he might even record a Sprite Castle there. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it might be kind of cool.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So if you're looking for something to do in June, you want to come hang out with us, you want to carouse, you want to indulge in some revelry.
Oh, there'll be carousing and indulging. That's
Yeah.
for darn sure.
Yeah.
What there won't be is boredom and apathy.
Yeah.
We would not allow it.
Yeah. If you've seen live streams of recent computer conventions and you've been left cold, you will not be left cold by Boatfest. I guarantee that. It's going to be a happening, and the stream is not going to suck. We're going to get the stream going, and
Well,
people are going to be...
Man, I wish you wouldn't say that. Now that's a lot of pressure.
Listen, man, the stream's going to be great. We're going to have lots of things for people that can't be there in person. We're going to have virtual streaming events. I think that we're going to try and work an angle where we get some virtual tickets to this event and give some people that get these tickets some way to get involved in the action. So be on the lookout for that. There's lots of things that have still kind of not been solidified yet. The only thing that is solidified is Boatfest is real. Boatfest is going to happen, and you need to start making your plans because it's going to be awesome.
I will say this. Boatfest location, it may seem silly, almost ludicrous at the Holiday Inn convention area, but you got two things going for you, three things. One, it's a good hall that allows all the boozing you want. Two, it's conveniently located in one of the few places around with tons of restaurants and stuff. And three, it's literally 1 second from the interstate. There's no traveling the back roads.
Right.
You get if you're flying in, you go straight for the airport. It's a 15-minute, 20-minute drive. And if you're driving in, you just get off the interstate and you're there.
Yeah.
It's a good place to stay. The area is secure. There's no weirdness going on. There's no Mothman sightings. It's all gold.
Yeah. So we'll have much more to talk about as we get near to Boatfest, but this is the official announcement. Boatfest 2022, June 17th and 18th.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Who'd have thunk it, eh?
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
Before we move on to the game, but I do want to plug this one item here. Our good buddy Alan has turned me on to his charity event. This is the
Keep talking.
Alan and his compadre have put together a game called Snowed Under, and you can pick this up for a charity release. All right, this is a good one here. If you will go to chronosoft.fwscart.com, I'll spell that out for you, and we'll put a link in the show notes. It's CRONOSOFT.FWSCART.com. This is Alan is the fellow behind the wonderful and brilliant asteroids on the ZX Spectrum. He also, if you watch the last IC International Computer Club, he was the fellow that did the little graphical talk for the ZX. It was it was way out of my league.
That was the programming talk.
Yeah, so you can get this now. It's available on the site. You can get it. There are various versions you can get and various prices, and the profits will be donated to the charity Crisis. So please check out the site for details. This should be good stuff. Alan's a real good guy, good friend of the show, and we would appreciate it if you would give this a whirl, Boat. Again, it's at chronosoft.fwscart.com. You want to type that in?
Yeah,
chronosoft.fwscart.com.
All right.
Nope. Chronosoft, CRONO.
Oh, not spelled like it should be.
Well, that's the way they spell it. How do you normally spell chrono?
With an H.
There you go, Bo.
Okay.
Well done.
So yeah, here we are. Chronosoft Snowed Under. You can pre-order this now. So
and charity, Bo.
Yeah, charity.
Listen, 'tis the season, right?
Right.
Give
right.
a little something, and plus you get a goodie. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better than you can feel good about yourself. And by the way, just like dealing with Frank, same thing. Someone's getting something they didn't have before.
It's a
win-win. It's a nice thing. Bam.
Now, Aaron, before we move on to the game this week, we have a package that has just arrived today in the mail.
Oh, snap. A live opening?
Yeah. So I stealthily, you didn't even notice me leave, but I've returned.
I thought you were melting slowly. I saw you poured some water on yourself like the Wicked Witch.
So we're going to open this right now. There's 2 cards in here.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, that one's for you.
Oh, I got a card.
Okay.
Look, it's an ice skating Santa.
Yeah,
Isn't that nice?
Me too. So mine says, to John, thanks for all the amazing shows and cracking songs. That means he's a true fan. Mm-hmm. What does yours say?
Mine says, to Aaron, I'm so sorry you have to work with Boat. He's a hack. A hack? No, I'm sorry. I misread that. It says, to Aaron, thanks for all the amazing shows and all the work you do. Merry Christmas. Can I say the name?
Yeah.
Chris Folds, our good buddy the Folds.
That's right.
Isn't that nice? What a good fellow he is.
All right.
Those are nice.
He's included some goodies for us here.
Oh, man.
First goodie, Cadbury tree
Oh,
decorations.
those are good eating.
Oh,
Those are going to be good, Bo.
Look at this, man.
Bo won't let me eat on the air, but by God, after the show, I'm going to be sucking those down.
They're actual decorations.
They aren't
You
going to
hang
make it to
those
the
on
tree.
Is
I
your
wonder
tree
how that
up already?
string's going to go through my digestive tract. That's what I'm wondering.
Just eat it all.
That might be weird.
You know, Pixels at Dawn posted a picture of something called an Arctic roll today.
That sounds
Did you
weird.
See that on
No,
there?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's some kind of a weird dessert, but I like it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and
Holy
here we
smoke,
go. Look at this. These are
I thought that was a box of tissues for a second. I was like, what? We're going to start crying.
This is 6 mince pies filled with brandy-infused mince
What is
meat.
a mince pie, Bo?
Mince pie is it's chopped up fruit very small.
Is there actual meat in there?
There's no
Why are
meat.
they called mince meat then?
Well, this is not mince meat.
Oh,
this
okay.
is mince. This.
What is mince meat? Can you tell me that? Do you know?
I think mince meat is where you take meat and you chop it up.
I
real
see.
Small.
So these are minced fruits.
Yeah.
Is mincing a thing?
Yeah, mincing is a thing. You know,
I've heard that.
I mince around.
I
often.
have seen that. Yeah.
So it's sort of like you like fruitcake, right?
Oh man, I love fruitcake.
So
dude.
imagine fruitcake in like Fig Newton form.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, Folds knows what to get. That sounds
Look at
good.
that.
Don't look
We
at the
love
health
that.
aspects of it.
No,
That's no good.
gosh, no.
Why do they put that? They ruin it for everyone with
Yeah.
that crap.
All right.
It's funny that because Chris Folds, by the way, is a super health nut. So there you go.
And he's got some Cadbury Bourneville
Oh
orange.
man, those are so good, dude. The Cadbury orange, they're good eating. Is that Turkish delights?
Yeah, Fry's Turkish Delights.
Oh, man.
I know about this from Narnia.
What? Yeah, that's. Oh, but what is it?
I have no idea.
I thought it was meat based. I just assumed it was. Why do I think that? I don't know why.
So yeah, Turkish Delight. We're gonna have maybe after the show today. We'll do a little taste test of
Post
this.
show where we eat Turkish delights and mincemeat pie
Yep.
without the meat. Thank you, Folds.
Thank you,
so
Chris.
much. Isn't that nice? What
It's
a nice
very
guy.
nice. Yeah. So we appreciate all of our fans over the holiday season. Please feel free to continue to send us more.
I will say, let's talk about Chris Folds for a minute. He's been around forever, hasn't he? He's been one of our supporters and
Yeah.
good buddies.
Since 2015.
I mean, forever. He's always around, omnipresent. He always is active in the chat. And I'm not just saying this because he loaded us up with mincemeat. He's a good guy, and we appreciate you, Chris. And you, of course, you got to meet Chris live and in living color.
I did. We hung out at Ireland. It was great.
That's dandy. I was
Yeah.
very jealous of that. So thank you very much, man.
And congratulations to Chris on his new job.
Oh, yes. Although we were bad-mouthing his new employer, but still, ignore that, Chris.
All right, Aaron, let's talk about Rubicon.
Look at this boat. Remember these?
Rubicon.
Paper notes
Paper
boat.
notes.
Now, let me get back into my usual stance. All right, here we go, bud. I'm ready.
Thank you.
So the old Rubicon boat, I'm guessing never heard of this one, have you?
Never in my life.
We've left the realm of knowing what we're playing, haven't we? That's long gone at this point. Rubicon Boatster, released on the Amiga in '92, 2 discs. Get this boat, published by 21st Century. That's the Flying Dog logo. Now, you may know them.
Are you sure that that's not a griffin?
Could be. But, I mean, what's the difference?
Well, a griffin is a griffin.
But, I mean, listen, Flying Dog, Flying Cat, Griffin, they're the same thing. And they would have the same sort of waist, is my point. That's the whole jet
you
of
mean
it.
like their pant size?
No, moving on. So anyway, publisher, 21st Century. Now, you may have heard of these guys from their excellent turns on Deliverance. There's a game called Deliverance.
Wow.
We got to play
Based
that
on
one.
the film.
Marvin's Marvelous Adventure. Remember that one?
That one is a platformer. I do remember that.
Moonfall. Nebulous 2, because you can't get enough of Nebulous. You may know them from all those, but you probably know them from their many, many pinball games, of which are awesome. Even the bad ones are good. The developers of this were either ESD, E.S.D, or Enigma, depending on who you ask.
Weird.
You know, and here's the weird thing about these guys. So they've already got 2 credits on the Amiga, a game called Muzzy, a game called Snare. And I looked at these other games, and they look real low end.
Well,
so how the heck did these guys get this? I don't know. It's weird they got selected to do this. It was odd to me.
I think sometimes games go to the lowest bidder.
That's... You're making that up.
No.
I thought they didn't bid on it. These are goofs. They don't know what they're bidding. Anyway, I'm not going to go through everyone that works for ESD, but I'll go just touch on a couple of them. Most of the guys in here worked on a game called Dark Mirror, The Nightmare's Begun. That sounds pretty cool. A couple of these guys worked on Stormlord, and then one of the coders, Paul Hodgson, worked on something called International Open Golf Championship. We better try that one of these days,
Yeah.
Boat. And you also had a couple of Marvin's Marvelous Adventure workers in here. I mean, it's just most of what they've done is stuff I've never heard of here. It's an ECS OCS game, and it came. Now here's the best I can tell. Okay, this game started on the C64 apparently, and then got ported to the Atari ST and the Amiga. And I'm pretty sure the C64 version came first, and then the other ports came later. Now, I don't know if I looked at the Atari ST version of this, and it looked almost exactly the same as the Amiga for the most part. So I'm guessing they were probably either developed at the same time or one was ported to the other. You never know. But I did look at the C64 version of this. It's a lot different, but it's sort of the same. I don't know if you looked at it or not.
I didn't see it.
I had all this stuff spelled out in beautiful living color, but that's neither here nor there. So, Boat, this game comes up with the big 21st century, the big logo, and then you've got this sort of Duke Nukem style, just chiseled Adonis.
Yeah.
That stands there looking like Duke Nukem or Rambo. You know you're in for it. You get this nice tune that comes up. What did you think of the opening of this thing?
This music is among the best music, and I say this with a completely straight face. It's among the best music I've ever heard on the Amiga.
No, you should say in your life.
In my life.
Let's boat this up fully.
You got your JS box, you got your Beatles, and you got your soundtrack to Rubicon.
It's good music, though. We don't want to oversell it, but it's good.
It's good.
The problem is, I'm going to beat you to the punch here. The second the game starts, music gone.
Yep.
You get nothing. And this game desperately needs background music.
It does.
So, what I've got here, Boat, is the background story. Did you look at this?
I did, but I can't wait to hear your dramatic retelling.
Now, this is a short. I'm going to read this verbatim because it's short. Okay.
Okay.
The Rubicon. By the way, I got I downloaded this off of Lemon, and I like whoever typed this in all caps. The story, every part of this whole docs, and that seems appropriate. It's almost like that guy screaming it at you.
It's the guy on the cover.
That's right.
Yeah.
He says the Rubicon story. In May 2011, oh man, an accident in a Soviet nuclear power plant situated on the Koala Island caused a major disaster. Radioactivity was spread over an area of 300 square miles with a radiation value of 1,230,000 rads. That's a lot.
That's a lot of rads, man.
The Soviet Union and Finland were evacuated immediately. Months later, terrifying mutations in the area were discovered where radiation had spread. The only survivor tells us these creatures were beyond recognition, but seemed to possess the intelligence of mankind. It is your mission to, and this is the part I don't get. I'll ask you, it's your mission to disarm the nuclear weapons before one of the mutations start using them. Good luck. We placed our trust in you. Okay? First of all, I would not place my trust in this guy. Okay, number one. Number two, how is he surviving in this nuclear apocalypse? Number three, they've already nuked it. Why do we care if they set off more nukes?
Boy,
does any of that make sense?
You know, you make some real good points there, Aaron.
I mean, the whole place is irradiated.
Yeah.
Why would we go there to stop that? Who cares at this point? They've nuked already.
What more would one more nuke do?
I went through this game to the 4th level, okay? Which of these abominations are going to have enough cunning to set off this nuke? I want you to point them out to me. Is it the big ogre? Is it one of the mini dragons? Is it the dinosaur with the missile mounted on his face? Which guy is going to have which has the digits to do it? I want to know that.
Yeah.
I guess if you're in an area that allowed this to happen.
Well, this is one of those 1,000 monkeys typing the works of Shakespeare.
Is
type
that
thing.
what it is?
You get enough of these monsters roaming about, one of them's going to learn how to do it.
I'm going to go on the assumption that and this is not this isn't even a knock against the former Soviet Union, okay? Because I'll give them more credit than this. But if you're in a place that allows something like this to happen, I can see where this would be the intelligence you would get back. Listen, we got to send in a bald goof. We never know when one of these freaks might set off the nuke. So that's the backstory. But what do you think of that backstory?
It's not bad. It doesn't.
What?
Here's the thing.
It's short.
If you're, what I don't want with this game is an accompanying novella.
No.
Okay.
No, you don't need that for this one. No.
So, if you can tell me there's nukes, there's Soviets, there's dinosaurs, there's mutants, and you've got a gun, that's fine.
Yeah. You got multiple guns.
Yeah.
So, thus begins the plight of this unnamed goof. I don't think he's got a name.
I don't think so. Maybe his name's Rubicon.
No, I don't think so.
It's like that Kenny Rogers song.
Is Rubicon a Russian? Is this guy Russian? We don't even know. Rubicon. Don't let them set off the nukes. That's the way. That's the alternative version that Kenny Rogers didn't release. So, in this game, you played this pissed off, short, bald guy, sort of like that, who is hunched over. I will say, this was This is the character that Amiga needs. Really, there's a scene in between levels. There's just a scene of him looking pissed off and walking, and I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen." This guy looks angry. He's bald. He's chiseled. By the way, why isn't he bald in the opening thing?
I don't think this is the same guy. I think that guy couldn't speak. He was
maybe
too dumb.
That's the guy that's gonna set off the nuke. He could be the mutant.
Yeah.
But you play this little bald guy who just runs through the level with a gun and he shoots everything he can. That's the game.
Right.
And now
you dodge obstacles, you dodge other enemies, and you shoot as much as you can.
what I like is I'm gonna talk about how this game was developed. Okay, and here's the way I think they did it. So they said to themselves, every game like this has a guy running around shooting bad guys. At the end of the level, he kills an enemy. What if we made a game of nothing but end bosses? Just end bosses to beat the band. That would be cool. And lo, it came to pass again. Because in this game, for the most part, you just fight end bosses over and over, but the level just keeps going until you get to another end boss and the level ends.
Well, what you have is you basically have what would be you have 2 or 3 encounters with lesser enemies.
Yeah.
And then you have like you said, a mini boss. And then that is basically chopped into 3 parts, and it's just back to back to back, where you have the same group of 2 encounters 3 or 4 times, and that's the end of the level.
Yeah.
This game is, to call it a triumph of level design would be a lie.
In fact, it's what they do. How many levels did you go into this?
Oh, I think I played every level up until the very last one.
Did you get to the point where you go into the water and you just basically die?
Yeah, that's where I died because I think something was wrong with the way I was cheating.
Yeah.
And I couldn't swim across the water.
So I want to make a couple comments. For number one, I've played this game with the not die cheat on and without. Okay. Mm-hmm. And in both instances, I got to a point with the second guy on the very first level that made the game stop.
He swoops down.
That's right.
Freezes,
Basically, the second bad guy you fight goes to the floor, and then the game freezes.
Yeah.
So this game, I would say they did not spend a lot of time fooling. Now, it could be the WHD load.
I think, yeah.
But it could not be.
Right.
So there's that. Secondly, this game does have a cheat to give you endless energy or lives, which I use because this game's hard. However, I did also play it as you would normally play it, and I'll get into that. Also, the WHD load gives you the ability to use your joystick to switch weapons, which I'm going to talk about in a second. I didn't use it for that, and I also did not use button for jump. I played this all natural.
Okay.
I'm sure you used that button for jump.
Of course I did.
The gimmick of this game, because basically it's a gimmickless game. You go forward. I mean, the boss fighting, I guess, is a gimmick. But the big deal in this game is it's got a unique power-up system. Using the function keys, you can flip through 4 or 5 different powers, and occasionally you'll come to a point in the game where this thing drops like it looks like a long metal tube. Mm-hmm. And what that is an energizer to energize whatever you've got selected as the weapon. I didn't know this at first, so I kept getting it, and nothing would happen, and I got slaughtered. You have to have that weapon selected when you pick that up. All right. Now, here's a little hint. Flamethrower. You want the napalm. Is what you want.
Really?
All the time. You never want to not have it.
I played with the spread most of the time.
No, the napalm.
Okay.
The napalm, brother. Because the napalm kills everything quick. You get a generous amount of this energy. I was surprised. And just to make sure I didn't have some kind of cheat turned on, I played everything all natural, and you still get a generous supply. You can go through most of the level.
Yeah.
But you have to get to the point where you get that power
upgrade.
Get the drop. So, before we go too far in, what did you think of this system for weaponry, and what did you think of having to reach over and whack the keyboard to get the various weapons to come up?
I love the system of weaponry. I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool to make you choose. First of all, the game doesn't choose for you. You get to choose the power-ups that you want to use, which is great. I like choice in my gaming. What I didn't like was the F system. Having to take your hands off the joystick. That's no good. I think that these, so many of these Amiga games, I wonder how many Amiga users had one of those sticks that had the button on the top and that left them with one hand free. Maybe that was just like the default stick in Europe.
Like the guns with the trigger things on.
Right,
yeah.
right. Because, if you had one of those sticks, sure, it's not so bad at all. But if you're playing with a control pad like I was, or if you're playing with a stick where you need two hands, it sucks to have to constantly switch your weapons. That's no good. So what I would have done is eliminated the need to crouch in this game because it's stupid, and just give you the down and your fire button switches your weapon bank.
Right. Well, I got used to it. Once I figured out, at first I did what I always didn't read the instructions. So I just went through with my standard gun, wonder why things didn't get upgraded and got repeatedly murdered. Mm-hmm. Because your standard gun's butt.
Yeah.
It does nothing. They said this was based on another type of game. I don't think I've ever seen a system like this that I knowingly played.
Not a weapon system like
they
this.
They mentioned it in my
Oh,
review.
is it Alien Syndrome for the Genesis or
is that what
like
it is?
that?
It was
I
some
did see
game
like a Mega Drive
and I was
game.
Like, wait
that was
a minute,
something
what
like
is that? I never
Yeah.
heard of that. It's an unusual way to do it. It says here Geyser. That's the game they mentioned. But it works. It's okay once you figure out what you're doing. This game though, listen, graphically it looks nice. The bad guys are big. They're well drawn. The backgrounds are nice. It's fluid. The enemies are. There's a lot of enemies, but there's some also and I'll tell you a good example. This game cheats a lot, and what I mean by that is, especially I got to the ice level and I really noticed it. It will repeat the same 1/3 level 3 times in a row. It's exactly the same with the exact enemy placement. Mm-hmm. Everything's the same until you get to the end boss.
Right.
I know it did that at least on 3 levels that I played. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty cheesy. They don't even try to hide it.
No.
It's exact. You noticed it too clearly. That's pretty cheap. That's lazy. So that tells me they either ran out of time or they were artificially, because that's as artificially padding a game as you can make it. Right.
Yeah.
So there was that. Also, the hit detection is suspect. Your guy's not that tall, and he can duck. And the thing is, he can still get hit by stuff that clearly misses him.
Right.
And did you notice that
yes,
too?
Yes, absolutely.
And that drove me nuts. Listen, the game's hard enough without getting cheap non-hits. Mm-hmm. The game also occasionally will spin through. This happens on every level. There'll be a Psygnosis style bunch of little dots or little bats that'll spin through a level, mm-hmm. and all they're there to do is hose you when you jump.
Right.
And those things, I hate. Those are, you don't need them. You don't need them.
I tried. I spent lots of time trying to kill all of those, because when you see those, you think, oh, this is going to be like Galaga.
Yeah.
You shoot all of them and you get a power up. No. You shoot all of them, you get nothing. You get nothing.
Yeah, and they're on every level.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sameness in the game. I will say the levels are pretty diverse. You've got a cave, you've got outer space, and you've got a mountain, and you've got the woods, and you've got ice, and swamps. So you get a good. This game really is the embodiment of mixed bag, isn't it? Well, give me your thoughts.
Here's what I want out of a shooter.
All right.
Okay, a shooter like this. I want a good power-up system. Okay, right. that I like.
All right, check.
I want a wide variety of settings to see. I don't want every level to look the same. I want a wide variety of enemies. I don't want the same enemies reused, and I want the enemies to be colorfully drawn. I want them to be imaginative.
Yeah.
I want them to act in in unique ways. Okay.
Right.
I'd give, so far this game checks all those boxes.
It does. I would agree. Yeah.
But probably the most important thing is I want the game to have a fair hit detection system.
Yeah.
Because in a shooter, that is everything, because you're either shooting or you're being shot. Yeah. Those are the only two things that you have to worry about. And like you said, when you have those cheap deaths, when stuff hits you but it doesn't really hit you, that just makes you not want to play the game.
Yes. And this game, I played it with and without cheats, okay? And the cheats, for me to get very far into the game, like to the 4th or 5th level, I had to use the cheats, okay? Mm-hmm. But I could actually get halfway far in the game. I could get to like the end of the 2nd level without cheating, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the hit detection is cheap. I couldn't do it consistently because of that. And this is one of those games. How much fun is it? I could not. This one's close. But this reminds me, a few months ago we went to that string where we had those games that were just on the edge of being something.
Mm-hmm.
They had something here. I like the title character. There's a little bit of almost like a, you remember how you played Sword of Sudan where you fought all those big bosses? They were all cool. There was a lot of them. Mm-hmm. This is sort of like that kind of philosophy.
This is very similar to, like, this is like Sword of Sudan with a little bit extra
with metal slug.
Well, yeah, with
shoved down.
Yeah, the problem is what you have here is you have an 8-bit play style and like an 8-bit computer play style, not an 8-bit console play style, shoehorned in to 16-bit graphics.
It is, you could see a crappier looking version on the NES
or the ZX Spectrum. I mean, this would be right at home on the Spectrum.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, the Spectrum couldn't do it graphically.
But I mean, the play style of this game, where there really aren't any. There's not very little platforming. Very little platforming.
Which is funny because the control of the guy is fine.
Yeah,
he could do it.
He could have done some platforming. Yeah. And what you have is just running from left to right on a single plane, and you're just killing things as they come through.
There's a little bit of a Shadow of the Beastie feel to the enemies too.
Yeah,
if
very
you notice
much
that, because they're huge. Mm-hmm. You can tell the guys that made this, they had a plan to put big, bold, embossed style characters in this, and they did that. I mean, that's the thing, you can't kill the game because some of it's done well, and it's a different sort of game than you normally would find.
It is, and I don't want to kill this game.
It's not like a Contra or something where you're fighting all those little things. Right. It's cool to fight a big, huge creature, or multi-headed dragon, or a thing that shoots a missile out of its forehead.
I really think if the hit detection would have been better, and if they would have done a better job of not blatantly just like backgrounded the Flintstones, like repeated the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
If they would have fixed those two things and added some in-game music, you'd really have a classic game.
I agree with you. Now, for the sake of thoroughness, so here are the weapons you get. And by the way, the reason you couldn't get across that water is because you did not have a full jetpack.
Oh.
Okay, so you've got, here are the following things you can use as your weapons or items. And these are F1 to F7. You've got your single shot laser. That's the one you get all the time. Now, one thing I should mention is, so you can hit, like, let's say you're at the very beginning of the game or the level. You could hit any of these numbers. You're still going to have that single shot laser, but you'll have the whatever weapon you clicked on primed for when you get the power up, because it's hard to, the second you see the power up, reach over, hit the button, and try to run over and get the power up. So they do, that's pretty innovative, that part. So you've got the single shot laser, then you've got the jetpack. Jetpack is what it says. I tried all these. The scatter gun, which I think is what you were using. Then you've got the napalm, that's what I was using. Seekers, which are just like heat seekers. Rockets, and then the bolt laser. These are the different things you can get. I never used anything but the flamethrower ever.
Okay.
I never. That's all, because it kills stuff.
Yeah, it just moves
fast.
stuff down.
And you can watch in this playthrough. That's what this guy's using too. Flamethrower, and it lasts for a long time. The napalm.
Right.
But it's neat that it does give you a choice. It's I thought with those choices we might get into some like shmup levels or something. Because you could do that.
Right.
Little left to right shmup action. I think this game. If you could have made like a sequel to this and really put some of the ideas to their fullest effect, you might have some. Because I mean, clearly, it's funny. These guys, I made fun of them for not doing anything, but they've clearly got talent.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful looking game, and the sound was good. So I mean, they had all that part done. But once again, where the Amiga falls short in this case, it's just the actual gameplay and dotting all the I's and crossing the T's boat on this one. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's the long and short of it.
I can't say enough, because I give a lot of flack to the dopey mascot characters in games like this. This guy is not dopey.
No, he's one of the better ones we've seen.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks like a stone cold killer.
He looks like an old Marine or something.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he's built kind of small and solid.
Right.
Like
a drill sergeant.
Right. And he curses when he dies.
He does. We don't really want to go into that, but he does. He cusses when he gets killed. I was interested to see how this reviewed, by the way. I really was. I think we weren't the only people that were conflicted on this. Again, I mentioned this coming up for the ST and the C64. The Amiga, the people over at Lemon gave this one a 7.14. All right.
That seems low.
That's not bad. I mean, all things considered. Amiga, I actually gave it a 79. Amiga Joker, not impressed, 55 on this one. Amiga Mania gave it an 80. Amiga Power, 74. CU Amiga, 69. The One gave it a 66. Average magazine rating, guess what? 71, right on the Lemon score. I would place this as a. I can't give it a rating higher than average just because it's got flaws.
Right.
But it could have done much, much better than it did. Two things I wanted to mention. One, I believe this shipped with a poster. All right. There's an opening scene in this, by the way, that's a real cool digitized picture of the box. I would have wagered that's what the poster was, but I didn't see anybody talking about the poster. But the I like it again.
The poster's got like a beholder on it.
It's
like
cool looking. It's got a dude eating a skeleton. I mean, it does. It does. And so I like that. I think this game was. I'm assuming the guys that worked on this were Finnish. That's just. But I mean, I just think they were. And I looked this up on eBay. And the eBay prices on this was none. I couldn't find any that had sold or any that were for sale. The only thing I found were people selling the actual discs, and the discs were expensive, between $40 and $60. So they were out there shopping, trying to get some action. Right. But I looked up the ST versions of this, and I did find some box copies. Those are sold for pretty good money. One last thing, I looked this up on the C64, and I noticed in the instructions that some of the things you do in the game were only valid on the 64, and it looks like the C64 version of this was pretty good. I mean, it's not as good looking, but it looks a lot more involved. And so something tells me this is what I may have to play on stream sometime. This may be one of those games where you have a better time on the C64 than you do on the Amiga, because like I say, it's a different looking game, but it looks pretty nice. It's made by a whole different outfit, you know. There you go. Boat just brought it up there. It's got, if you look there, Boat, it's got the nice scrolling backgrounds. And something else I noticed that the C64 version has music all throughout. Yeah. Which is ridiculous. What are we doing?
Right. Well, it's
But we know the Amiga can do it. That's what irritates me.
Right. It's that weird Amiga thing.
And this is 92.
Yeah.
So it's funny, of all the good things they did, that would have went a long way in this game.
Because that music is so good.
They could have just played the opening tune through some of the levels.
Right.
I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, did we get any Discord action on this thing?
We did. We got some Discord action on this. Let me, we'll just keep on letting this C64 version play a little bit. So our first review comes in from Barkbit. He says, a good-looking run-and-gun with some problems, namely up for jump, no in-game music, and weapon select on the keyboard. You're controlling a muscular grunt that can take on any kind of freaks that appear, but what ends up killing you in the end is often annoying swarms of tiny fireballs. Finally, the backstory is absolutely ridiculous. You're clearing out mutants that are a possible threat because they might get their hands on nuclear weapons. So what are these mutants? People? Aliens? No, dinosaurs that evolved through radiation within a couple of months. Yeah. 3 out of 10.
And burial.
Deckard Threepwood.
Oh, Deckard. Welcome back.
He writes, I was taken back when I fired this one up earlier tonight. Passed me by back in the day on the Amiga's heyday, but not heard much about it since. Awesome pixel art at the title screen and during the game. Title game music is decent. It's a shame there's no in-game music. Music can really help keep me captivated when playing games, particularly shooters. Gameplay is good. Short sections of baddies, followed by a number of mini-bosses. I didn't get past level 2, but will definitely add to my list of games to revisit to try and complete. 7 bouncing skulls out of 10.
I like it.
And then he says, check out this tremendous picture ripped from the load-up screen.
That's
so
it.
You can check that out on the... the dude eating his skull. That's not a dude. That's a weird thing.
That's a thing eating a skeleton.
Yeah. Rubicon review by Pajako6502. He says, a new game for me that looked like it might be a Metal Slug for my Amiga. Sadly, it isn't. It's an average run-and-gun game. Graphics look great and the controls are pretty responsive, but the gameplay experience is messy. And because of the imprecise nature of firing when jumping, you'll be taking damage and not hitting enemies a lot.
That's a good point, Bo. Especially when you're fighting those bosses that you have to hit up and high.
You got to hit them right in the eye.
That's
a
real pain in the butt. That's a good point, Pajako.
The weapons upgrade system is an interesting idea. Planning ahead and powering up certain weapons requires a little strategy. But most of the time, you're mashing the fire button for dear life, so any strategy element is somewhat lost. Audio is very stock Amiga sound effects, and the lack of music in-game is really felt on this one. Not a keeper for me, 5 out of 10. He says he also checked out the C64 version. It's quite different, and in his opinion, a much better game.
Perfect timing on that. There you go. Thank you, Bajako.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the Rubicon, Aaron.
That one makes me sad. I mean, really, that's one. They had something. They didn't quite get there, but
yeah. So what we should do next is we should take a look here at the old Patreon list, because we have a new supporter this week, Aaron. We want to welcome Albert Kemp to the fold.
Welcome in, Al.
Welcome, Albert. It's unfortunate that I did Uncle Albert just a couple weeks ago on the old Patreon song, so I can't do that again. Well, I guess I could.
You did do that?
Yeah.
Use his name in the chorus. Go ahead.
Albert Kemp.
Move along. We're sorry, Albert. Please don't leave because of that.
So, I had we had a Patreon song queued up and ready to go. I guess we should talk about what should have happened this evening, Aaron. What should have happened?
Yeah, we were going to shoot in my newly minted arcade studio with a high definition camera, everything ready to go. I worked feverishly this week to prepare the show, and my internet was down. Right as Boat showed up, it went down and never came back up. So Boat was like, well, let's go to my house. And so we did. And so here we are. That was the amount of planning involved. So all the hours I spent, worthless. Yeah. And then Boat spent a frantic 30 minutes looking around here like a maniac trying to get this thing ready. So good on you, Boat.
Well, the good news is that next week, hopefully, we'll be in the arcade and all will be well. So it's time for the Patreon Song Challenge, Aaron. Now, last week, it was week number 2 of Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, maybe I didn't do. I'm sure I've done Uncle Albert at some point in the past, but
I didn't remember it.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I should do it this week.
It's too late now. You told him what it was.
It'll never be too late. But I did Let 'Em In, which is a Paul McCartney song, and Band on the Run. Flack got both of them. He got both. He was the only one that got both tunes in the mega medley.
Don't do anything of his outside of the Beatles.
I actually did Band on the Run backwards because I started singing the third part of it because it's a multi-movement work because I couldn't remember how the beginning started.
How did Flack get that?
And then I slowly worked my way back to the beginning.
That's
Buck Owens also got it. Jigglebox, Daniel Williams, and Hermsky.
Now wait a minute here. Hold on a second before you keep going. So you screwed up the song and you kind of brought it back.
I brought it back.
And so are you some kind of avant-garde artist, not like an avant-garde cover artist?
Nobody circles the wagon.
You're the Laurie Anderson of cover tunes. Is that what we're gonna? You need more hair for that. Pull that trick.
Is that comedian that had like the cartoon?
No, she was an avant-garde rock musician that was kind of popular.
Was she in with Debbie Harrison and all them?
Debbie Harry, and no, Debbie Harry's not an experimental rock musician.
So if
help me, somebody.
We've got a new Patreon song here, Aaron.
You're gonna go ahead and go for it.
We're gonna go. I can't not do it.
You told me before the show, you're like, listen, the Patreon song's out. You told me.
No.
But now you're feeling the flow.
Because you and Brent didn't do a song last week. By the way, thank you for doing the show without me last week. I appreciate that.
It went over great too with that incredibly popular game. Dude, holy smokes, that's gotta be one of our all-time great shows.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Designosaurus. And I thought it was, how crazy is it that every episode that Brent's on is a dinosaur game?
Yeah, well, that's because he's an old, immobile dinosaur.
We do wish Brent all the best after his fall this week.
I told him if the show didn't go well on Sunday, I was going to come over and punch him in the leg.
So, if you know this week's Patreon song, send me an email at john@amigospodcast.com. If you are watching on live on the stream, don't write it in the chat. Send me an email instead.
So nonchalant the way you said that. I don't have any more, there's no more tequila in my cup, so I'm going to go, oh man.
So here we go. Albert Kemp, we like Mr. Chip, Peter Price, Herbie Wonderly, Chaz, Mark Richardson, David Hearn, Chris Edwards, Ramo K, Raven Terrace, Jude Carlos, Matthew Mobius, The Phantom Magnus, Seth F. Yates, Alistair Fiend, Christian Russell, David C., George Rosansky, The Amiga Show, Daniel Crabtree, Super Family King, Kizzy Loomis, William Ventuscar, Heavy Systems Inc., Bundy, Frag, Lord Mark Byland, Olaf Hope, Hermsky, Alien Breeder, Dave Velociraptor, Cowboy Boy, Lane Denson, Daniel Williams, Lugo Cotton, John Cook bombed the base, Frodo in L, Soul Incisor, Tech Mage Jurgen, Miss Cola, Bernard Lucas, Jerry Dennington's Old Globe, Reflection.
The hell was that?
Simon Ledge, Captain Crispy, kilobytes and caffeine. Gary, Heather, Free Lunch, Kate Fox, David Pickford, Cameron Armstrong, Andy Jones, Lobster Manada, 10-minute Amiga, Retrocast, Bernard Quinn, RMC, Tim Drew, Joseph Harrison, Kyle, Eda, Rob O'Hara, Matthew, Larimore, Andy Craig, Sean Zobach, Ben Rodenberg, Andrew Monks, Joe the Zombie, Leave Killer, that kebab, Checote, Level Low, John Marshall, Matthew Perron, Ricky DeRocha, Creepy Dead Boy, Figgy CTZ, The Slow Norris, Stefan Sorgard Martinson, Edvin, Helen, Christopher Hassel, Ravi Abbott, Chris Foles, Lauren Giroux, Graham Key, Adam Battersby, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, Gary Hooker, Paul Bossman, Harrington, Duncan Styles, Tales from the Crypt, Josh Nan, Adam Bradley, Jonas Rulo, THT, Eric Nelson, Kim, Tommy, Humbertstad, Daniel Bingston, Brutal Barracuda, Darren Coles, Jason Warrens, Pixels at Dawn, and Kjol Bjorn Barman.
It stinks.
Thank you. So, if you know that song, that makes one of us. Send me an email at john@amigospodcast.com. And we'll see what happens.
Man, if you know that song, time to get your hearing checked. Good Lord.
So, Aaron, of course, we can't leave without talking about the fine folks that support us on Twitch as well. You know, we stream the show every Friday at 5 o'clock on twitch.tv/Amigos Retro Gaming.
Except for this week.
Well, this week we started a little bit late. And we'd like to thank the following Twitch subscribers. I've got to make this ultra mega huge.
No kidding.
Okay.
You're worse than me. You want my glasses?
I need them. Scumboy, Brent, 31909, Real Retro Dude, Wing Chun Wolf, HSEI Ken. Did we mention that HSI did the poster for Boatfest, did all the graphics and stuff? HSI did all that. He is the graphic artist behind the Boatfest image and likeness.
Why don't we call him Hasaiken?
He's awesome. He's the man. Great Owl G, Jigglebox, the Mr. Chip, Aaron, Rob O'Hara, Negsol, Buck Owens, Happy Coding, ZX, Barkbit, The Retro Hour, ChronosNet, Rule of Thirds, Mikea 3000,
Ooh.
Anthony Roberts, Mitsuyama, Picard 2010, Robin Wendell, RetroRewind.ca, French Dona, Blow Jellyfish, OROM, Z9K9, Demoscene TV, Eeyore 4077, Paul Kitching, Kedian, Canadian Retro Things, I am Chris Folds,
Ooh.
Still Adolescing, Macintosh Librarian, Gary Heather, Blue Train, Captain Chaos DK, Octams, Butterberg, The Retroist, Aaron, The Retroist.
Oh, man.
Krabs, MTG. I'm sporting one of his shirts this evening.
Yeah, I saw that. It's fantastic. I was stunned when you came over and you had that on. Very nice.
Back to 8-Bit with Hermsky, Paco Take.
Oh, he's crazy.
Frodo NL.
Yeah.
Ham01, Aaron.
Yeah.
RMC Retro.
Yes.
R Typer. Blue is my car.
These names are getting wacky.
Edvin Helland. And Qubits.
Yes, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's a great list of fine folks.
Yeah, so we thank you guys so much for supporting us on Twitch, for subscribing and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's beauty.
now, Aaron, before we go, are you going to be doing any streaming this evening?
Well, if I'm going to get my kite string and my tin cup out, I had planned a 68,000 in the honor of our good buddy Sanction. If you listen to the Pixel Gaiden crew, our buddy over there just got himself a straight up Sharp X68000 computer boat.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, these guys were going off on this. I was like, man, that's a good pickup. I thought I'll play some 6800 games. So if I manage to get the internet back up, I'll be back around with my usual 8:30 horror spectacular and the 9 o'clock show. But we'll see. If not, what can you do?
Now, Aaron, BarkBit wins the prize because BarkBit forgot to reminded me that we've not done our community updates section yet.
Well, I just figured you knew what you were doing.
No, I have no idea what I'm doing. Never assumed that. So, Aaron, you're in charge of this. Where do you want to start with this bad boy?
Well, let's start at the beginning there. The Thanks for Gaming Marathon Part 1. Now, this happened last Friday before the show, but we've uploaded the first part. Listen, I don't give the Brent much credit, and I won't give him any credit now. This was all me. No, it was. We had a good time. Things went pretty much without a hitch, Bo, except for a couple games that would load, but you know how that goes.
Listen, the Mister did exactly what we thought it would.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Yeah, and I had so much fun. It went so fast.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how fast it went.
It was my 10th anniversary, and I watched 90% of the stream.
It was creepy to know that you were having your 10th anniversary dinner and stuff, and you kept saying, like, this is great. I'm like, Boat, why aren't you looking at your wife?
I couldn't tear my eyes away from this. Look at it.
I know. It is riveting. I will say we put a lot of work into this stuff.
I know you do, man.
And it's satisfying. We just had a fun time. Believe it or not, I even enjoyed hanging out with the Brent. It was a good time. So the whole Thanks for Gaming Marathon, if you missed it, or you want to catch some of it, it's up on Twitch. But we're gonna break it up into 8 sections and post them one at a time on YouTube, but over the period of the next 6 months, probably. So, but the first one's up now, so we had a good time, Boat. And I appreciate everybody for showing up. This was actually one of the biggest events we ever had on Twitch.
Yeah, it was huge.
So that was gratifying, Boat. I appreciate everybody.
Now, Aaron, in this, man, I'm taking over. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're the man.
I was so excited to talk about it in this next installment of Ask the Amigos, our next video. We asked the immortal question: can game consoles be haunted?
I always wonder how you pick your tagline. That should be on Conversations from the Dark Side.
It should be. It should be. Look at us. We look awesome.
We're in like a theater.
Yeah.
I had a good time on that just because we got to hang out. You know, that's back when the arcade studio was working and the internet was working.
Way back in the day last week.
But we had a good time. It was a surprise as usual because you never tell me nothing. But we had a good time. If you wanted to hear 2 dipsticks talk about crap, then check us out. It was fun.
All right, what's coming up next, Aaron?
This was a Friday night disaster stream from yours truly, and I thought we had so much fun a couple weeks ago playing stuff on the PC Engine CD that we would try some Mega CD titles, a.k.a. the old Saturn CD, the Sega CD, the Genesis CD. We played some winners, Boat. We played some losers. You just happened to beam right in on a loser here, Boat.
I can't remember what the name of this game was.
Well, I know the name of it. It's called It Took Forever to Start.
Yeah. It's like an 87.
I thought I was playing one of these JRPGs.
It was a full anime episode before this thing went down.
The Japanese must have a lot of time on their hands.
They must.
That's something I could figure because they got time to set through these openings that you can't skip.
Yeah.
And then this is what I was rewarded with. A chick in a bunny suit sitting on the back of a green freak shooting people in balloons and other crap.
That sounds pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
What's up with that? Baby Buddha on a 4-wheeler with a raccoon on the back?
That's a great thing to say when you're upset. Baby Buddha on a 4-wheeler. What are you doing?
Yeah. That's going to replace Holy Smokes.
Right.
Anyway, we had a good time, Boat. The people in the chat room gave me some good tips. And we had a lot of fun on this one. So there you go. If you want to watch some Mega CD action, check it out.
We got Sprite Castle, Aaron. Sprite Castle.
I caught some of this one. I didn't get to catch all of this one, but it was good. And this was Flack playing all the monster fighting games on the C64. I did catch a good chunk of this because I remember there were like a couple rampages were amongst the.
Now this is the episode of Sprite Castle where he talks about the movie Monster game.
This is okay. I was confused with the live play. I haven't got to hear this one yet.
I have listened to this, And this apparently,
Ooh, Godzilla.
except for the kind of long disc swap and disc loading times, this game seems kind of cool. You basically get to pick a monster and you get to go wreck house.
I saw him play this on the stream, and I thought to myself, this looks outstanding.
Yeah,
like this is what I want. Pick a monster, wreck crap.
I love the fact that there's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man clone called Mr. Meringue.
Yeah,
that's the best. That's the best.
Oh, what your opinion on lemon meringue pie?
Like it.
Correct answer.
Like it.
Correct answer, bro. Those are hard to get these days.
They are.
I don't know what's going on. And forget about coconut cream. That's right out.
You know
and
what?
I love those.
You know what you always get instead? You get some kind of peanut butter
I
pie,
like that stuff, but I mean,
or you get the Oreo pie.
And that's a cop out, right there.
People don't go with the classics.
That's a cop
anymore.
out pie. Yeah.
All right, Aaron. Speaking of Flack,
oh man,
he's back.
Oh, listen, I don't mark out too often on the show.
You mark out all the time.
Well, I'm going to mark out hard for this. It's almost like Jack Flack was like, "What would Aaron want to see on the Sprite Castle Plays?" And here it is. I almost said, "Lo, it came to pass" for the third time tonight. I'm going to beat that into the ground. This was all ninja and fighting games, and what's the best is intermingled in this are cheesy 70s and 80s kung fu trailers. These were the best. Some of them I've seen, some of them I haven't seen, but they're all good. Joe Louis, you know he's good. He's whooping a bunch of hinds. Oh. I love this guy, George. This is another guy, Richard Norton. He did this thing in a lot of movies. He had one line. He'd whack a guy and he'd go, he's Australian. He'd go, painful? I bet he said that in 5 movies. It'd be his line, painful? But yeah, these are all good. This movie here, if you ever saw Fistful of Yen, this is basically the exact same film.
I need
like
to watch
a real
all these.
version.
I love these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Force
is great.
5.
Yeah. So anyway, this is if you're into the Flack, even if you're not, if you're into kung fu, if you're into just being a cool guy, watch what the cool guys watch. Go check that out. The Sprite Castle Plays with all the fighting games. Oh, it was good, Boat. So good.
Well, speaking of cool guys, let's talk about a real cool guy.
Yes. Look at that.
Frodo is back. Game starring Mickey Mouse. Have you played a lot of Mickey Mouse games, Aaron?
We did play the Donald Duck one. Remember that on the Coco?
Edutainment.
Oh, yeah, we did that twice. Did we do it twice?
I think you just did it once on ARG.
Yeah, I did it once. But I've played a Mickey Mouse game. I've played a Donald Duck game. What are those, the big popular Sega Mickey Mouse games?
Oh, like Castle of Illusion.
That's
stuff
right.
Like
I've played that. You know, I've played some Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember Lion King? We had that big fight because you
were
dumb.
I think we're confusing Mickey Mouse and Disney at this point.
Well, I thought it was played a bunch. Oh, it's just Mickey Mouse.
Right.
My bad. I thought it was a bunch of Disney games. Listen, I haven't played a ton of Mickey Mouse games, but I mean, the ones I've played I like. What's that game he's in where it's like an RPG version of the game?
Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, boy, that's dumb. That is
I can't believe you don't like an RPG.
But I mean, it gives these guys personality and like feelings. Like you're sympathizing with Goofy.
Listen,
he's Goofy.
You don't sympathize with Goofy?
Not a bit. He gets himself in these stupid situations. Don't chew gum and eat a sandwich while you're driving a car and try to play piano, whatever you're doing, you idiot. No, I don't sympathize with him.
So
but
you can watch about 5 hours of Frodo playing, and
that's dedication.
That's the truth. 5 hours.
Frodo is in for the long haul.
He is.
Frodo's. You know what I liked about Frodo's videos? I do this all the time. If I've got like to write something or do something, stick Frodo on the other. Remember when I used to have another TV that was up there?
Yeah.
I'd put Frodo on the TV, and then I could do my work. That's all over now because my TV died. I got nothing.
You didn't get a Black Friday deal on the old TV.
You know, I didn't get nothing. I don't have nothing. I don't want nothing. I'll just listen to nothing while I type my stuff.
Good night, folks. That's how we end
nothing.
it. Well, Aaron, next week I'm going to give you something, brother.
I don't like where this is going.
We're gonna be what better sport to play in the cold December evenings than a rousing game of baseball?
Sure.
We are going to be playing Hardball 2, Aaron. Hardball 2.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second here. Didn't we play Hardball 1 already?
We played Hardball 1 about 27 years ago.
Hardball 2 is on the Amiga?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
sounds good.
Yeah. We want to thank the Amigos Game Selection Committee for choosing that for us.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I could be wrong here, but because I don't follow the sport, but isn't baseball now a strike?
Yes, they are officially locked out.
So, if you need your baseball fix, because you're a big baseball fan,
I am. I like baseball a lot.
We will have to play some recorded hardball and then just put it up like a game.
Right. We should.
That'll be fun.
we could probably sell it to ESPN. They've got nothing else to put on at this time of year. So
Yeah, I don't want those geeks commentating on it. Though. Those guys suck.
no good.
Screw you,
Kirk
ESPN.
Herbstreit,
Yeah,
man.
I hate all those goofs.
All right, guys. Thank you as always for watching. We will see you next time. Until then,
Adios.